Hello, everyone. This is Joe Allenhoven, and I want to welcome you to our webinar tonight, which is Team Lead Home Businesses Inner Circles Road to 100K Part 1. I want to take about 30 seconds and explain to those of you that don't know who I am. I've been in media for over 30 years now. I started out as a chemical engineer and was an operations manager at a paper mill here in the South. And truthfully, the stress was too much for me, and I joined Bob and Penny Lord Ministries and was a television producer and still am a television producer to this day since 1988. And along the way, about into the 90s, I got into the internet. Even while it was becoming an internet, before it was the www, even was a site designer for many years, and then got into internet marketing around the year 2002, and then got into through the nonprofit, and then got into the secular side, if you will, around 2005. So I've got a very broad experience, and in my goal is simply to share my knowledge with those that listen to me. So that's the 30 seconds. Now, what we're going to be doing on each week, we're going to do a little bit about some mindset work. Then we're going to talk about some tips. Then we're going to talk about some deals. And what I want to do is tonight we're going to be studying the qualities of the gurus, and we're going to see where we can pick up some of those qualities. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and go to screen share and share everything. Looks like it's working. And we're going to start talking about what's really important is attitude and not aptitude. We're going to power of positive, being positive, the power of positive thinking. And I'm not sure if this is spelled right. Anyways, there are three folks that go all the way back to the 70s because I was involved with them in the 70s. Dale Carnegie, the power of positive thinking, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, and Zig Ziglar, attitude, not aptitude. These three have sort of the pillars of the mindset or the positive thinking things that are going on today. You'll find some of their stuff in it all the way along. Now, the buzzwords that you'll use, that you'll hear when this is coming around is you'll hear mindset, self-actualization, empowerment. There's in the last few years, it's Eastern or Oriental mindset, and that includes some of the tenets of Buddhism like that. It's Christian meditation. The common core bases of this attitude, not aptitude, is that this is the most important. You might want to write this part down, is that each of us is a uniquely created individual with one-of-a-kind talents, and we're all destined for something. Now, the goal of all of these mindset courses, I'm going to just use the word mindset, is to have you to get in touch with your talents that are hidden. Everybody also commonly believes that the subconscious is extremely diverse, and the abilities of the subconscious are way beyond any of us common understandings right now. We're touching some ground on that in different areas, but most everybody believes that the subconscious is where the empowerment's going to come from. Me personally, is through the years, is I've developed a talent of being able to think sort of my subconscious, and I actually write stuff in there, and it'll just all come out at once. And it's just you might say that's a talent that I've realized I had a long time ago and developed it ever since. So each of you, what I want you to do is basically what you got to come away with is just understand that you're a unique person, that you have something to offer, and get in touch with that, and get to know yourself, as some of them say, get to know who you really are. Now what we're going to do now is just go into some of the common traits of the most successful marketers. And I just wrote some of these down, and we'll kind of go over them a little bit. Every single one of them that I have come in contact with or have any knowledge of have these talents sort of multiplied. They're very good at articulating what they are presenting. In other words, they can explain it, that what they're trying to get across to you, they can explain it very well. They're professional at all times with a bit of humor, and they're good at just being who they are. They have come to realize to a greater degree who they really are and are very happy with themselves. They are aware that over 90% of the other marketers fail, and they've set a goal to expand knowledge of what works. So they have that giving mentality. They do not believe in cookie cutter marketing. Rather, they believe in creating original content. They're not real big on taking somebody else's stuff and just using it. They believe in learning from other people's stuff, but making it original. They deliver life-changing content. They create their own secret sauce. We'll talk more about that secret sauce stuff in a little bit. And that's one of the things that each of you should begin to think and make notes is, what is my secret sauce? And start to use that in your emails and stuff, and so that you make your emails more original. They do not believe in get-rich-quick schemes and do-nothing schemes and cheap stuff. And that's all good advice for all of us. They provide high-end premier products and services. It's one thing is that I've noticed that they're selling seminars and webinars and training programs, a lot of them, into the thousands of dollars. The reason they're getting thousands of dollars is they're having people come away from those training courses and making $100,000 in a year. Some of them even have guarantees on that. Something I may want to look at someday. We'll see. They're serious about service to their associates. They're very, very service oriented. They're consistent and they stay focused. Most of them don't really get into all this stuff that's being thrown at us. They sort of ignore it and they stay focused. And they'll watch, if something comes up, they'll watch and see how it's going before they'll jump into it. And they earn between 100,000 and millions. Most of them, I think, are being modest about what they earn. I think they're earning a lot more than what they say, because they don't really want people to know how much they say. They're extremely confident, and they'll let you know it. That's another trait. It comes out of them, it exudes out of them, their confidence. They produce results big time every time. That's one of the things that I see is people, they have certain qualities. People just like to purchase from them. That makes the buyer feel good about buying from them. They have a magnetic personality. It's something we used to call that. So that's some of the qualities of these big time gurus, if you will. And I think I want to just review just for a second. The basis of agreement now is that here's what it boils down to, is every one of us is unique, and every one of us is capable of offering some unique talents to the world, and we all have a destiny. And that's what our job is, to get in touch with who we really are, and to be happy about it and be enthusiastic about it. And And if you do not believe in what you're doing, for God's sake, don't do it. You absolutely must believe and be passionate about what you're doing. Online marketing, you have to, because the people that are online every day are getting smarter and smarter. And the people that are scammers are becoming less and less. And they're getting more and more desperate because the average person is becoming smarter and smarter. You must be passionate and you must have that knowledge so that you will have something to offer that people want. So that's our lesson for tonight. Like I say, I like to keep these short because that's important to you and to me too. Now tonight we're gonna go into tip time, and what we're going to do is, before I forget, I want to say I have a deal at the end of this program for everybody that's here, and it's only for those of you that are here. And I'm going to call it an offer you can't refuse deal. If you watch the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. But anyways, so I have a deal for you tonight. So hang in there with me. Like I said, I'm going to keep this short, but I'm going to put out a lot of information. And good thing you can play it back and stop and see what I've got here on my board. Okay, tip time. First tip. I made one little change to the background image lead capture pages, and my conversions went up over 50%. Now, I'm being modest here. My conversions went up about 300%, but I wanted to be conservative and put 50% because not everybody's going to get 300% like I did. And some may get more, actually, but it's always wise on my part to be a little conservative. Now, what did I do? Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you something first. I'm going to go here. Typically, this is the statistics at Team Elite Home Businesses, and I'm looking at a month here. And typically, this is for one of my accounts. I have more than one account, but at any rate, typically, I average somewhere around 1%. That means I get one lead for every 100 people that see my ad. And after I did that little tweak, I was averaging up to 5%, but for the month it's 4%. So 1% to 4% is, I called it 300%. Some people call that 400% increase. That means I get a lead for around every 30, less than 30 people that look at it. Now, and this is where the deal is going to come in based on this. So pay attention here because I'm going to go over some stuff. So we're going to take a look at this. I want to show you something. I make a note. I call these things by their page number, so that I know what I'm looking for. So I'm going to go over here to Viral Mail Profits, and I'm going to look for that Elite Marketers Club at 30804. Oh. There. And if you notice here, just to show you what I do is, remember that I rotate my ads. So I've got week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4. And I show my ads for 7 days, and then I rest them for 7 days. But in this case, I'm advertising what I call one of my instant commission sites. And it happens to be, in this case, Elite Marketers Club. And I'm going to show you something. Here's what. And I do everything I do is HTML. I do HTML. I put a line of X's here, and down below that I put the regular text. But I'm going to copy this HTML code here. I'm going to go over here to Team Elite. This is just to show you what I'm doing. Let's say if I'm going to do an ad, I'll go here. Before I do that, I want to show you one thing. This is one of the things that I did that made it. You see this little right here? I added that image on this lead capture page. That's one. There's two things I did to get to 300 to 400% increase. I added an image right here. Okay, I added it right below the first sentence. And the other thing I did, I want to show you here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go, and this is how I do HTML. You have an HTML editor. Just at Team Elite Home Businesses, just go to the home page, click on, in your case, you click on send to broadcast, which let me just do that. And then what you do is you go to tools, source code, and you paste that HTML code in there that we just copied at Viral Mail Profits. Okay, and this is the ad, and this is what I did. I added this picture here to this ad, and you see I bolded some stuff and highlighted a few things down here. I added that picture to the ad, and I went, my income and sales went up 300% from these ads, just by adding that picture and converting to HTML. Now, when a site doesn't allow HTML, then I have both of the ads here in my template at Viral Mail Profits, and I simply go down below. I have a little line of X's here, and I just copy what's below that and use that for the ad. But by putting the picture into the HTML, as I showed you, and adding another image right here, those two little items increased my leads and income 300% this month. Okay, I'm gonna go back here to, that was the tip number one, is get that image in there into the ad that you're running right after the second line, and then put the image in the lead capture page. Plus, there's one other thing you want to do. The first two lines, for the most part, the first two lines of your ad will generally be the lines of text on the lead capture page, so that a person, whatever they're reading, they're not surprised, and it flows. And the image can or can't, it doesn't have to be, but if it's the same image, their mind just flows from that ad right to the lead capture page, and they're more likely to opt in, and then more likely to sell if you send them to an email that has basically the same stuff on the same image. So what did I do to go from averaging 20 leads a day to 50? It's actually about 70 a day now. And basically what I did was two things. I started rotating my ads. I started advertising the ads with the higher numbers, the 3%, the 4%. I started advertising them more than the 1%, and then I put those images in there. So those things, determining my conversion, advertising the ones with higher conversion, and adding the images and rotating them, those things, I went from about 20 leads per day to over 70 in the last couple of weeks. And this is June, folks. This is June I'm talking about. And this is what's happening to me right now. We got a couple of things here about Facebook that people have brought up. Is I've been putting my ads on Facebook in front of over 40,000 a week for a few dollars. And how do I get a relevant score of 10 for a Facebook ad picture? And we're going to go to that. We'll go ahead and cover that. Then we're going to come back to some other things that are equally important. And don't forget the deal that's coming up. So let me see here if there's anything else here. Okay, that was it here. So I'm going to go from here back to, I'm going to go to Facebook now and show you a couple of things that I've learned there this week. I hope by now you're getting the pictures. What we're doing is we're learning these things together. Okay, as I said, I'm still involved with Bob and Penny Lord Ministries, and I have created their websites and maintained their websites since they've had them in the late 90s. This week so far, the post reach is down. Last week it was about 45,000, and right now it's 32,156 likes. And I'm not paying any money to get these likes. The likes are coming as a result of the advertising. And then my page, I'm showing you that other page because I'm spending more and more time with that. But my page, I'm not really advertising it right now, and it's backed off. But I got a 3,000 post reach. I got 8 likes. I got 4,255 followers and likes so far. So I'm building that at the same time. And those are my 2 fan pages. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to go to the ads manager. And I'm going to show you a couple of things. It's kind of running slow here. Here we go. This is the reach for today. I'm running some different. I'm starting to experiment. I've got my favorite ad down here that was running yesterday with a 16,000 reach on that ad. And I'm just going to open this up and show you something about relevance. If you mention somebody in the ad, and this goes in what we're doing, if you're mentioning some marketer and you have a picture of that marketer, that'll get your relevance way up. I'm going to just show you this one. In the Catholic market, Mother Angelica, who happens to be a personal friend of mine, is very well known. She's the nun from Alabama that founded that Catholic network in the South. Let me see if I can find the picture. One of these has a picture. Okay, let me keep going down here. Let me see the relevance. Oh, these are 9s. Well, 9's pretty good. Let's see what this one is. Let's see what this one is. Okay. These are some pictures of shrines. I'm looking at the wrong thing here. All right, I'll go back up. Okay. At any rate, to get a relevance of 10, that what you do, it's 85% of it's the picture. Make the picture reflect on the words of the ad. It's kind of like your ads that you write for email marketing. It's basically the same thing. Is make that picture because that's what they're attracted to is the picture, and that's how you get your costs down. That's how you get your with Facebook anyway. That's how you get your reach. How many people you reach with the ad. But I want to just show you one thing that I touched on last week. I want to clarify it. I said last week, I'm clicked on the create ad function. That the best way to do it is, for me anyway, is cost per 1,000. Now, how do you get to the cost per 1,000? Okay, you click on this, send people to your website. All right, and it's going to ask you for a URL to put in there. Now, you're going to send them to you're sending them to your Facebook fan page. So what's the URL for the Facebook fan page? Well, that's your Facebook, facebook.com and your name, but you can also send them, which is even better to send, and I'll show you this, you send them to the URL for the timeline tab. That's what I do. So I'm going to. That's what I put in here, and the rest, when you go on down through it, I'll just stick something in here, just make it go on down through there, so I can continue. when you go on down through there, it's going to ask you what you want to do, and you'll say so many dollars a day, and you get the choice of impressions, and it's going to pop up a number that they recommend, and that's going to be pretty close. I'm getting most of my things for around 50 to 75 cents per thousand impressions, and then the key thing is to get the most clicks on your page, your URL, and that gets your cost way down. So let me just show you on my fan page up here, the timeline. What I have done is you click on timeline. If you click on more, I have a lot of different things that I can switch, and every day I change what's up here in the timeline so that people that are visiting this page will see something different every day. So if I want to know the URL, say if I wanted to do an ad for high ticket or Elite Home Business, let's just click on Elite Home Business. If I click on Elite Home Business, all you do is you copy that, what's in the browser. That's the URL for this page. And it's a 22 social page. And what it does, it captures their email address information when they click on one of these green links here. I misspelled that. I got to fix that. Okay. So then after they do that, it takes them to another page, which you can then send them to your regular lead capture page. But you will have collected all their information as soon as they like the page and click on that one of those green buttons down there. And it's working very well for me over on the Bob and Penny side. I'm getting many leads a day from what I'm doing there. And so that's the Facebook part tonight. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to, because we're getting close to wrapping this up, and the deal's coming here very shortly. Okay, so I'm gonna summarize up until now. Get in touch with who you are. Be enthusiastic. Get into some self-help courses and learn how to get motivated. If you have a problem with that, learn how to be enthusiastic and project that true self of yourself. Work on that. Text. Be sure you put an image and as much as possible use HTML ads and put an image in the ad and an image in the lead capture page. Rotate your ads. 7 days on, 21 days off. You might want to try this, is have an ad for Monday, another one for Tuesday, another one for Wednesday. You can either try a 1 day a week rotation or a 7 day rotation on, 21 off. It's interesting. Some things work better than others, and you're only going to know that if you try it yourself. So I showed you how to do the Facebook ad that will allow you to do CPM. Now, what I want to do next week, we're going to talk about David Cialdini's book, Influence. This is one great book. It's available on Amazon. I've got it in my notes there. You should be able to see that. It's David Cialdini, Caldini. The book is called Influence. And it's understanding what influences others. The first thing, I'll have it read by next week, and there's 7 factors in influence. The first one is presentation. The second, reciprocation, commitment, social proof, liking, authority, and scarcity. The very first thing I learned today is, which is better, to put the highest item first or the highest item last. I always thought it was better to start low and go high, but that's not the way people work. So I changed our order page accordingly, and we start out with the ultimate and we come down to the 7-day membership. So it's an exciting book. It's very easy to read. You can get a Kindle copy. I got one here on my iPhone for, I think it's $8 I paid for it. Any of you, those that are you that want to learn what influences people, get that book. That's what the gurus read, by the way. Every time they tell me about some book they're reading, I'm going to make a note of it and pass it along. And most of the time I'll just buy it and read it myself. Now, here is the offer. Here's what I want to do. Those of you that are here tonight, I want you to send me, you got my email address, brojoforallenhoven@gmail.com. Send me one of your ads that you want that ad to take off like a rocket. Your favorite ad that you're having, one that you're not really happy with. If you're happy with it, go on, you don't need me. But if you got one that you want, send it to me. I'm going to convert it to an HTML ad and send it back to you. Now here's what I want, here's the deal. If you will then go to topapexmaile.com, that's on the list there, topapexmailer.com. These will be on the video replay. You can go to the YouTube page and you'll see these links. If you go to topapexmailer.com and buy 1 or 5, whatever you want, however many of the Top Apex ads, they're $2.99 per one. I think it's $11.99 for 5, I think. If you buy 1 for $2.99, I'll give you 1. If you buy 5, I'll give you 5. And if you don't make some money off of it, I'll give you the money back. Because what I'm going to do is, first, that has to be the ones that you send me. I want to do everything I can to make those influence people to buy. There's some other tricks, not tricks. There are other methods that I use in emails that we will get into, and it's the order of priorities in the email, the subject line, what needs to be in the subject line, what has to be in the subject line, and where do you put the benefits, top, bottom, whatever. There are other factors. That's why I want to see your email. I want you to send it to me. And I guarantee you will see results even probably better than I am. So that's the deal, is send me one of your ads that you want to do better. And you send it to my email address, and you have that. You know how to reach me. And I'll send it back to you in the HTML code. And you can then send out some emails there at Top Apex. And so I think that a really Top Apex mailer, I know that's going to work for you, and I know it's going to be good for you. So, and the last thing, if you're not a member of Team Elite Home Businesses, I mean, you can be a member and get the benefits, membership benefits, like these Inner Circle webinars and many other things. It's only $7 for that. And one of the reasons that I have come to realize from my training is that it's an amazing thing that people believe that the more money you pay for something, the better it is. And I've been told by several marketers that I need to start, instead of $7, I need to be charging $700 for the minimum membership and $200 a month for the ultimate. But that's not who I am. And I'm not really in this to make a whole ton of money, but the other thing I said, well, your people will make a lot more commissions also. So I'm debating about this prices thing. Actually, I like the concept of rather explaining to people is don't be looking at the price, because you can't compare our benefits to other people, and don't be looking at the price because we're much, much cheaper. So that I'd rather go that route for a while at any point. So that's it for tonight. 35 minutes. That's what I wanted. I hope you got something out of this. It's very exciting. This is a slow time of the year, and I'm having one of the best months I've ever had. I can't hardly wait for the July and August and the rest of the year to get here, because I want to see how this is going to work, what I'm doing when the people come back online. But at any rate, those of you that are here, send me that ad, and let's see if we can't get some results. So thank you very much.